Well, I thought I'd try to make a video of the whole process of me from writing a song right through to recording it and then mixing it. And just, I don't know why I'm doing this. I just thought it'd be a fun thing to do. So I do have an idea for a song that I'm working on. It's kind of right now. I've got a few ideas and I'm trying to see how they fit together, how we can make them into verses and choruses. I have an idea for that might be a chorus. Maybe something like that. So, I'll jam on that for a while. I don't know about that yet. It's not blowing me away. But you never know what's going to pop out when you jam on things. And the other part of the song is, I'm pretty sure this is going to be the verse. This will be. Always with these objects. I'm looking for a simple melody here. So you can also hear I'm changing it a bit there. So I'm actually already hearing a little bit of harmony in that particular melody. So variations. So I also had this idea for a bridge, which is be sort of a quieter part and building sort of a. So anyway, that sort of gives you an idea of when I'm working on a song, the kind of things that I'm doing. I don't have lyrics yet. I have lyric ideas, and I do have, as you might have heard, I have a title for the song, "All in a Day," and that'll be kind of the chorusy hook, if you will. And so I have other lyrical ideas that I won't share with you just yet, but because they're all terrible, but or maybe not. I don't know. Sometimes I've learned not to edit when it comes to ideas about lyrics. I just write things down. And nothing's too dumb to write down because usually only me gets to see it. So at this point, I'm actually starting the recording process. I don't have the finished lyrics yet, and it might change a bit, but I can always change it. The first thing I do, I guess I'll show you. Okay, so I did flippity dip my camera. So what I'm doing, I'm just setting up a new project here in Nuendo, the digital audio workstation, or DAW, that I work in. Cubase 9, I believe it is. The new one just came out. Haven't got it yet. And anyway, I'm just setting up a drum track. That's usually how I start. I like to play along to a click or a drum track. It makes it much easier later on if I want to change something or cut it down, because then it's all nicely put together in bars and beats, which is much easier. So what I've got here is just I just put a drum track down, count in, and that's sort of a beat that I've sort of started with. And this is really just for me to get a basic track down. That's going to look weird for a minute, but you'll hear me play this. get the idea about that. I'll pick this back up again. Wasn't that a strange experience? So this is what I'm working on today. I had a breakthrough with the lyrics last night and had some good ideas that I've written down, so I'm going to be working on that, trying to put that together. So when it comes to putting the track together, I'll lay down usually an acoustic guitar track or an electric guitar track to this beat, and that'll be my sort of starting point, and then from there I'll sort of listen and fine-tune it a little bit. I might I might clip a bar or two here and there, or maybe decide to add a part longer or put a solo in. But right now I'm going to get a basic part down. I'm just getting a feel for what I think the finished song is going to sound like. And with this one, I'm not so sure. Some songs I have a pretty clear idea of, like In the Snow, my most recent one. I had a really clear idea of the sound I was going for on that one. This one, not so much. It's pretty quick. It's 140 beats per minute, so it clips along. It's a bit of a rocker. It can be a rocker. I think I'm probably going to go in that direction. But yeah, we'll see. I do know I want the end piece to be very. I want it to build. I want it to build to a real. Start small and build to a real strong climax, emotional climax. So to speak. Okay, so I'm all set to record the first guitar track on my new song. I've got my microphone set up here. It's just a little CAD small condenser. This one seems to go well with this Gibson acoustic guitar, which is quite boomy. Seems to balance out some of that, and I end up with a nice recorded sound that I really don't need to EQ much at all, which is nice. So yeah, I've got my track set up. Right now I've got acoustic guitar track, so yeah, so I'm going to record a track and we'll see how that goes. I'm all tuned up. Tuning's important. I spent a lot of time tuning, and even though this might be a track that's ultimately not included, this is really just to start it off. I still treat it as a real recording and try to get the best recording I can, because you never know. If it's good, I might keep it. Anyway. So I added a acoustic guitar track. It sounds good. I like it. It's good. So I got that track down, and now that allowed me to go into the what I'm using as the drum track right now and make a few changes to line everything up. So this pretty much establishes rhythmically the song. So I've got the acoustic guitar track, and I'm going to leave it for now. I might record another one tonight, but I'm pretty happy with this. I was actually just one take. I did do a couple of edits. A couple of bits were a little at a time, and I did fix that. But it's just pretty much a one-take thing. And I like how it sounds. It's not perfect, but it feels nice. And I like it. So I'm going to keep that for now. And I'm going to put some bass on it and see what I can come up with there. Anyway, that'll be my next task tonight. So I finished recording the bass track. It took me about an hour. That's me sort of figuring out what I want to play and getting the part right. I probably did about 10 takes. Did quite a few until I finally got one I liked. I couldn't piece it all together, but I like to try to get a good take, or as close to a good take as I can get, with minimal editing, because editing's boring and playing is fun. So I'll probably add another acoustic guitar part tonight, kind of a double of what I did. Now that the song is taking shape, I know a little more where I want to put a few more little accents and some little things here and there. So I'll probably overwrite the first part I laid down, or I might keep it. I don't know. It's pretty good. Well, I've recorded another guitar part. This is capoed up a little bit higher, so you get two guitars playing the same chords effectively, but in different places. Gives it a neat kind of interplay between the two guitars, as maybe you can hear here. So we'll add the bass in. So instead of working on lyrics like I should, I'm procrastinating and working on drums. Right now, I'm programming the drums. I usually do use programmed drums. Sometimes I play drums, and sometimes I add some real elements. But I do have a really good drum sampler here, where I can basically my drum sampler here. I can basically assign sort of any drum sound I want, and it's really kind of cool. And some people say that, without using a real drummer, you are losing feel, and those people are right. But working myself and not being that great of a drummer, it's just really hard for me to do real drums. I've done it and I can do it, but it takes a lot of time. It's easier for me to actually use the MIDI drums and program them, and that way I get exactly what I want. The kicks are in the right place, and but in this case, I'm listening to this, and while I like it, I think I'm going to replace some of the elements. The hi-hats I'm not crazy about, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to record some real hi-hats and the real ride cymbal, and I'm going to leave the kicks there, and I haven't decided about the snare. And I don't know, I might do some drum fills on the real drum kit, I don't know, or I might try to program something. But my songs are rarely about the drum parts. The drum parts just sort of support the song, but I do like to have interesting parts with fun bits, and I don't want the drums to be too noticeable, but they should provide a nice backbeat as well. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to work on some drum stuff. All right, that's some more natural sounding hi-hats. I just recorded a hi-hat part there, and yeah, it sounds a lot better. It's more natural, and sounds like real hi-hats. In order to stay in time, I played along to this incredibly annoying click. Hear that? That'll keep you in time. I also recorded the ride cymbal. Not sure how much you can hear it. So I've done some more work on my song. The guitar parts are all done. There's 2 acoustic guitar parts and 2 electric guitar parts, and I did some editing. I'm certainly not a perfect guitar player. This song has some pretty heavy downstrokes on the 2 and the 4 along with the snare, so I did want those to be really tight and really good. So that was neat. The drums are coming along. I think they're pretty much done. Adding the real hi-hat and ride cymbal really helped a lot. Still working on the lyrics. I've got some lyrics done. It's coming really slow. It's a bit frustrating, but it's coming along. I hope the lyrics come soon. As far as what else I'm going to add, I'm going to add some tambourine, because I love tambourine. And I might add a bit of piano. The bass guitar I'm using actually sounds a bit like the bass strings on a piano. It's got that kind of tone. So I think I might add some piano to that, just to hear what that might sound like. So that's what the fun thing about having your own studio. I can experiment with any sounds I want and see what works and what doesn't work. And I also might add a little bit of Moog synthesizer at the end. There's a long outro part where there's some long bass notes, and I think a little bit of Moog under the bass would make that a little cooler. I think we'll try. We'll see what happens. Anyway, that's what's happening. Well, it's Friday night, and I'm back working on my song that's now called Starting Today. That's now the title of the song. I did finish the lyrics of the song. I took a break away from it for a few days, and that seemed to do the trick. So I had some other ideas for the song, so I did that as well. I did add a guitar solo over what would have been verse 2 had I written verse 2 lyrics, but I decided to put a solo there, and it's super fun. I'll play it for you. Here it is. So that's fun. That's like a wah-wah in there. It's really loose. It's pretty loose, but that's okay. I like that. Then that will be back into a chorus, and then there's a lead out, and then there's sort of this part B that will come in. So that's what I did today. That was a lot of fun doing that solo. I didn't do very many takes. I did maybe 5, and that was the one I liked best. And it's not edited. That's just the way I did it. And I don't know if you heard me, but yeah, it's a bit loose, but kind of sloppy. But I think it contrasts kind of with the rest of the song, which is pretty tight and controlled. So anyway, I think it's fun. So I'm going to keep that, and I'm going to do some vocals tomorrow. I'm going to do the vocals I rehearsed today. So we'll see how that goes. There's still a few bits that are a bit fuzzy to me. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to handle them. I usually don't go in with a plan when it comes to recording vocals. See, with background vocals and harmonies, I don't really think about them. I sometimes hear them when I'm working on the song, but I don't actually arrange anything until I'm actually recording it. Then I just listen and I just sing along with myself and find the harmonies. I have a way of doing it, of course. I tend to look for the high one first, then the low one second, and this one, turn on that one. Got my tea. I'm gonna set up and record some vocals. Yeah. Okay, so I'm ready to record vocals. Got my microphone set up, and got my headphones on. Everything's good to go. Just rewriting some lyrics. I've just run through it a couple times, and some things I want to change. That's usually the way it goes. So I'm not going to film me while I'm recording vocals. It's enough to operate the computer and concentrate on singing. I don't think filming it is going to help my performance any. Vocals are always tough for me. It's one of the more important things, and it's probably, I think, my least strong point is my singing. So I work really hard to try to get good vocals. So hopefully next time you see me, I'll have been successful. So I successfully recorded my vocals the other day, and there they are. I did about 20 takes in all, but I did do it in sections. I did the chorus first, and then I went back and did the verse and the end part. So it took me a couple of hours to record the lead vocals as well as some background vocals, and that's them there. I actually have a lead vocal track, and I've got a track in parts where it's doubled, and then I have the harmony, which is also doubled, and then I have a second harmony that's also doubled, and I've got them sort of panned so that there's a high and a low on one side and a high and low on the right side, high and low on the left side, and then the lead voice kind of up the middle. So that I think it worked out okay. I'll play you a little bit of the chorus here. Shake of the tree. I know I've said it before, now I mean it's time today. No more excuses, I might be making another mistake. Yes, I've said it, but now I mean it's time.
So yeah, it's a little taste of that. Um, so yeah, there's a bit of a delay on there. There's some nice open space there that I thought would be nice, and so I have time to delay to fill that up. You can hear that starting today, starting today. So that was fun. Yeah, so it worked out really well. So at the same time I was recording that, since I had my mic set up, I also added a tambourine track, and it's just a pretty basic. It's just sort of shooky shooky shooky, and then double time shooky 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 in the choruses. So another thing I'll do at this point is I'll actually mix down some tracks with the effects and plugins in place. And what that does is it reduces the load on my computer CPU, because it can get pretty. You can use your CPU up pretty quick when you start putting some of these plugins in. Some of them are big and take up a lot of horsepower. So if I'm happy with the sound, for example, the bass on this track that already had a compressor on it, I just mixed that track down and basically printed it, and there it is. So that's much easier. So I did that. I did that with the acoustic guitars. I mixed them down to one stereo track. Yeah, and the electric guitars, I didn't mix them down to one track, but I did mix the individual electric guitar tracks down so that the effects weren't on them anymore. Anyway, so that it makes it much easier when I have the tracks all summed up, and I've got lots of CPU room so I can do my mastering tricks. So this is a pretty much a mixed track. I actually do master in the same project as mixing, which is another reason why I try to conserve CPU, because the mastering plugins do take up a lot of horsepower. So for mastering, I use a few plugins. I use something called a virtual tape machine. Oopsies, get that back. And so this basically is an emulation of what a reel to reel tape would do. Give some saturation, add some color to the sound. It's hard to tell. It's a very subtle effect, and it's kind of hard to tell. Sometimes I A B and close my eyes to hear if I can actually even hear what it's doing. But it does add a certain something, so it's worth putting in there. It's a no cost option. This is the main plugin I use for mastering. This is actually the Abbey Road mastering suite, which is really cool. It's based on the gear at Abbey Road the Beatles used and other famous groups. Does it sound like that, Dusk? I have no idea. I've never used it, but it does work well, and I do like it. It's got a number of cool things. It's got like a cool input thing here where you can balance, and you can EQ it here. You can. There's also another separate EQ section. You can select the frequencies that you want to change. It's got a limiter on here that sort of squishes it a bit. Yeah, it's neat. And there's this really cool thing here where it spreads the stereo a little bit. And another little section here, a little filter section where you can add a little something if you want. So it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. That's kind of the main one. And from there, it goes to a brick wall limiter over here, this one. And what this basically does is that you can set where you want it, what output level you want it to stop at, and it will stop the signal from going any louder than that. So, and it is a brick wall. It's a wonderful tool for mastering, and one that should not be abused, because it can create some pretty squishy, yucky effects if you put too much there. And finally, what I've got here is this is a loudness meter. Much debate among audio engineers about loudness. I don't mix that loud. Although this one here is a bit louder than usual. It's coming in at about minus 11 LUFS, loudness units, which is how loudness is measured. So this is a really cool plugin. You sort of start at the beginning, zero it out, and it'll tell you where you're going to be, because you want to be sort of in the same range as most streaming services and all that stuff. So your music is at roughly the same loudness as everybody else's. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. There's a lot more. I think I'll do another video and talk a little bit more about the mixing process and what I'm thinking about when I'm doing mixing. So the track is pretty much done. In fact, it is done. I just printed the final, and I made sure it was the final. If you've ever worked in audio, you've seen the situation where you've got, file name, final, or final, then date, then final, then another date. So I always wait until I'm absolutely sure it's final before I call a file final. So now it's a matter of uploading to Bandcamp. I did some art this afternoon in Photoshop. Yeah, so yeah, I hope you enjoy the final song. I might maybe at the end of this, maybe I'll put a tag on this with the finished song, so you can listen to that. If you stuck with me through this kind of long video, then you deserve that at least. Anyway, I hope this was maybe informative and maybe showed you the process, at least the process that I use in creating music. It's weird creating music on your own. It's not recommended to mix and master your own stuff, but I do it because I'm a control freak, and that's just the way it has to be. I hope you enjoyed this little journey into my mind. It's kind of a scary place sometimes. Anyway, thanks for watching.
And I know what I feel. I know what is real. And I know what I do might bite me in two. And I feel that it's time to shake something free. And I feel that it's time to shake up the tree. I know I've said it before, now I mean it, starting today. No more excuses, I might be making another mistake. Yes, I've said it, but now I mean it, starting today. Do my own thing, fly my freak flag, one step forward, the rest of the bullshit they say. I'm sure I will be okay. I know I've said it before, now I mean it, starting today. No more excuses, I might be making another mistake. Yes, I've said it, but now I mean it, starting today. Do my own thing, fly my freak flag, one step forward, the rest of the bullshit they say. I'm sure I will be